Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to PixelLit, and it's a special Thanksgiving episode of PixelLit. It's the day before Thanksgiving. We are giving thanks for you, the fans. So today, we're supposed to be starting a new book. Normally, we would be starting a new book, but today instead, because you're getting ready to stuff your tummies with stuffing and turkey or ham or tofu, if that's your bag, then then that's fine too. So it's good. It's great. Tofurkey. Why not?
Why not?
Or turducken if you want to,
if you want to basically do the exact,
you want to do the exact opposite and tempt God,
ethically opposite.
If you want to, that is to quote Drill. That is flipping off the angel. Yeah. The Archangel Michael and walking backwards into hell. That's what a turducken is.
That it is a nightmare. It is a nightmare. I don't know how it can exist. I don't
know how you cook it, honestly.
I've roasted a single duck breast, and those things are so fatty that the fat is it's freaking ridiculous. And that's just one bird. So you stuff it inside of another bird with another bird stuff. I don't know. There must be something to it.
So it's duck inside of a chicken inside of a turkey. Is that the
a chicken inside of a duck inside of a turkey?
Okay. Yeah, I guess the duck is bigger than a chicken.
A little bigger. But still absolutely ridiculous. I mean, the whole process to be able to do it, you've got to bone all of these poor animals. And not in the fun way, not in the cool.
I was about to say,
let's take a deep breath and experiment sort of way.
Yeah.
No, you've got to remove like all of that so that you have just this meaty cavity that you can shove another animal.
It's like a meat glove.
That's exactly. It's a meat condom for hill giants. It's horrifying. It's just terrible. We're off to a good start.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
And that's all. And that's it.
And that's all. That's it. This also kind of marks kind of like a little bit of format change, because going forward, we plan on having a bit of a transitional episode in between each of our book series, just to kind of give us a little breathing room, a little bit of time. So for those of you at home who are always looking forward to the next book, I'm sorry to disappoint, but we will have some fun stuff in between. Finishing one series and the next. Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people, we are really lucky in that we've been looking at the numbers and we've been getting there's so many more of you every month. The number of people downloading this show has grown exponentially, and we're so excited about that, but it is an episodic show.
Right.
And so there's a part of us that wants to kind of make sure that there's a bit of a breathing station there for people who are just starting out, who want to get to know who we are and what we're doing a little bit without jumping right into a whole series.
Yeah. Yeah.
So hopefully that this serves that purpose.
Hopefully. So Thanksgiving, what is your favorite side dish?
Ooh. Oh, man. It's funny because it's kind of tough to pick just one, because for me, I'm one of those people with Thanksgiving that I get a piece of turkey and I put a little bit of stuffing on that and a little bit of cranberry on that and a little bit of gravy on that, and just like construct the perfect bite and do that several times over the course of a couple of hours, and it's painstaking and wrong.
So it's about the mise en scène of the bite. It's not an individual object, or
no.
The sum is greater than the parts.
That's exactly it. If I had to choose, I'd probably say stuffing.
Sure.
We do a really good cornbread stuffing.
Yeah.
Which I love. This year, though, I'm going to be spending the holiday with my fiance's family.
Oh,
and I don't know.
Is this the first holiday? Is this the first holiday you've been spending?
No, it's kind of hilarious because last year with me and Emily are a COVID relationship. We literally had our fourth date the day before Atlanta announced a quarantine. And I told her, I said, we knew that was going to happen. And we were really feeling strongly about each other even that early on. And so I said something like, I said to her, I said, listen, the rumor is that, before she showed up, I said, the rumor is that, they're going to issue a citywide quarantine. So if you really want to come over, and I don't mean this as a dirtbag, but you might want to bring a spare toothbrush and change clothes, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And she did. And we have basically been together ever since. So Thanksgiving last year, we rented a cabin in the mountains in Saluda, North Carolina, a little town in the western part of the state. And we had one cat at the time, Jonesy, and we brought him up and we made coq au vin, and we drank some really good wine along with like a barrel of really, really shitty wine. And and we were day drunk in the mountains making pie and French food. And it was amazing. And we missed our families, but it was really, really good. And then for Christmas, we were going to go see my family. Everyone had been quarantining and all that stuff.
Sure.
And everyone in the family. And we were going to go meet my family in Savannah and spend the time with them. And I was going to see my nieces and nephews and all that. And we were really excited about it. And literally the night before we were going to leave, which was like the 23rd of December.
Right.
My roommates told me that they had been exposed to a friend who had COVID. And I was like, okay. And
womp,
so
womp.
I called my family up and I told, and it's like, I'm not taking a chance with these babies. I've got, because I had two nephews that had been born literally, I think they were both literally like 2 or 3 months old at the time.
Wow.
And I said, I'm not taking a chance on this crap. I'm not, we're just gonna, we're gonna hang out here. And I was really upset and really bummed out. And, and then my whole family took turns because I called my mom and told her she was upset. I was upset. And we hung up the phone. And then my sister and my brother and my dad and my mom, like my whole family took turns, like calling me one at a time to tell me how much they appreciated, me staying home and how much they missed me. But next year's going to be better. And don't you worry about it. And I was really upset about it. And Emily could see that. And so her family has a trailer in South Carolina that we spent a lot of time in because her parents live in Ohio normally and they come back every now and then to South Carolina. And so over the summer last year, we spent a lot of time there just getting away from it all and staying quarantined. And so it's a place that means a lot to us. And so we said, let's go there. I got the recipes for all my favorite Christmas snack food from my mom. Got all the ingredients for that.
Right.
And we went up to the middle of nowhere, South Carolina, out in the foothills, and where there's like an Ingles like half an hour away from like the closest grocery store is like a half hour's drive. And we got all of our shit and we took the cat and we bought some Legos and we went up to this cabin and I made our snacks and we watched White Christmas and got hammered.
Built Legos.
And ate snacks and opened presents. And it was honest. And it was like we missed our families, but we were talking about it today. It was like, I'm so glad we're getting to see our family this year. But that was seriously one of the best Christmases I've ever had.
Yeah, it sounds like a blast.
It was great. We watched that terrible Wonder Woman sequel. And it was so good. So
that happened.
We're really, exactly. So we're really excited because this year, Thanksgiving we're spending with her family, Christmas we're spending with mine. And so we're really excited about that. But the fact of the matter is that we still had a really good one with just our little family, a couple and a cat, kind of thing. So it could be a lot worse.
Could be a lot worse.
Yeah. What about you?
agrees.
I forget what you even asked about. I was just off to the races on that one.
I asked what your favorite side dish was.
That basically just summarizes everything about you and me and the show, and that just nails everything. That just Oh my God. Let me tell you a little bit about what I think about this country. It's just like, oh, side dish. What about you, Kevin? What is your favorite side dish?
Mashed potatoes.
Mashed potato? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
See, you do mashed potatoes.
I do enjoy mashed potato. The mashed potatoes, you got your mashed potatoes, you got your stuffing.
Mm-hmm.
I love cranberry juice. Never been a big cranberry sauce guy.
Okay.
Except until I found like that there's more of a like a compote like cranberry sauce that is like more saucy, because when I was a kid growing up, it was always like, you know, the cranberry sauce that it was like you opened up the can and then you would and it just made that little
the suction sound.
And it's just like, it was more of like a Jello mold. I was never like into that. And then like recently when I've seen this more saucy type cranberry sauce, I was like, oh yeah, I could get down with that.
I think that's actually what cranberry sauce is meant to be.
Yeah. Rather than the tin that you suction a Jello mold out of. That's not cranberry.
Just use the lid of the can to slice pieces out of it. And...
you slice it up into little Canadian bacon sized slices of cranberry sauce.
I love stories like that where it's just like, you know, I never used to like this food, and then I found out that I was eating the worst possible example.
Then I found out I was eating it wrong.
Right.
It's like I never liked ham, and then I realized that it was just because I was eating Oscar Mayer bologna.
Right. I never cared for wine, and then I realized it was because I was drinking Mad Dog 2020. Yeah, I love those stories.
Yeah.
So is it you being the family man, you know, is it just your family? You got any extended family?
We are flying. We are, as of this episode, I will be up in Pennsylvania, in the Poconos.
Oh yeah.
At my
Oh no.
Oh no.
Hold on. I pity the dog. I talk shit. That Kevin the Hammer Earhart.
You know, that was my the nickname this basketball coach gave me when I was like 12 years old.
The Hammer?
The Hammer.
No.
I don't know. His name was Actually, I'll probably bleep that out because don't want to dox him. He was a terrible alcoholic. Definitely going to bleep it out now.
But he was now you really should. Yeah.
Now I really should. He was my youth basketball coach. And he was like, yeah, Kev, you're the Hammer. And I was like, I don't know where he got that from. I was the tallest kid on the team by about, what are you two doing? For those who can't see because my background is blurry, my dogs are kind of staring at each other awkwardly.
I always think this is why I leave the door open. We have a screened back porch, and I just let the cats go fucking wild out there.
Yeah.
While we do this,
you just gotta let them in and out.
Yeah.
Yeah. He would call me the Hammer, and I don't know why. And I was like a foot taller than all the other kids in the.
Okay. Yeah.
And it was like everybody else like capped out. Like everybody that I knew as a kid. All my childhood friends capped out at like 5'5".
Sure.
It was just
it's so funny because in grad school, like you and me and pretty much all of the guys we hung around with some exceptions, but I just remember it being a really tall bunch.
Yeah, Graber wasn't that tall, but
no, he wasn't that tall. But like, I was one of the shorter guys, and I'm 6 foot.
Graber listens to the podcast, so he'll.
Graber was a little shrimp of a man who was as wide as he is tall. What do you think about that, Graber? Yeah, dwarven runic sage.
This will be his second mention on the podcast, so I'm sure he's just thrilled.
He's a part of us. He's a part of our hearts. We love you, Graver.
We love you.
You filmmaking dynamo, you.
Yeah. So are you gonna be listening to any books over the course of the Thanksgiving break?
I probably will actually. Yeah. I actually have a massive library on Audible that has just been building up and building up because it helps. You and I have mentioned this before on the show several times that it helps. We read these books, but it helps to have the audio books too, because we both work from home, and so it's good to have those playing and that kind of thing. And when we have a brief respite between books, I tend to be catching up on podcasts or things like that. So I do have this lovely collection. I've got Jason Schreier's Press Reset that I'm really looking forward to. I have got a few, quite a fistful actually, of Warhammer 40K Horus Heresy novels. Of course,
so you blink and you miss 10.
I know, exactly. And I've been I told myself, because our friend Rob has been the proper Rob. He's been he got through the entire Horus Heresy series.
Wow!
And I'm trying to get through that. I don't know how he did it.
Yeah,
I think I might be halfway through. I have to double check.
Is Rob still a bartender? Is he?
What's that?
Is he still a bartender? Is he?
I'm not sure.
I can imagine him like just listening while he's like having an.
That would make a lot of sense, actually. Yeah. Oh, and then the other big thing that I have that I love Audible for is the Great Courses. Are you familiar with that?
No.
It's this really kick-ass series. They've been going on forever, where they're basically college-level courses taught by professors who are like experts in their field. Yeah. I've got this 12-hour series of lectures by Bart Ehrman, who is a religious writer who wrote Misquoting Jesus and or Misquoting Christ, I forget which one. But he's he's a really well-known and well-respected theological professor and scholar. And he did a 12.5-hour series of lectures called The Historical Jesus, where they take Jesus for the time period and they put it into perspective. I'm an armchair theologian and I love that shit.
Do you get are you gonna get some credits for that?
I get nothing. That's how much of a geek I am. I get nothing but the satisfaction of being a geek who enjoys his book learning. I've also got, I'm going through it right now. I got one, Ben Franklin's Lessons in Life from Mark Canada. That's a 4.5-hour series of courses. The Skeptic's Guide to Alternative Medicine. The History of Rum. American Monsters. Some American cryptozoological shit. 5 hours of that. Come on.
That's amazing.
It's some good shit. And I guess this is probably as good a time as any to mention that we recently acquired a sponsorship through Audible, ladies and gentlemen.
Audible, you say?
Audible. That's right. Audible.com. It is
Audible.com.
It's basically the world's largest repository of amazing books on, what do you call it? CD?
Books?
MP3? Audiobooks.
Yeah, audiobooks. There it is.
Audiobooks. So basically all this stuff that we were talking about, like half of the ones I mentioned are just free. They just come with your Audible subscription. So with your account, you get one free audiobook per month, plus you get access to this huge library of free stuff they have, discounted stuff that they have, and on top of that, you can sign up for a daily email where one of their audiobooks, which is normally $20, $25, they price it down to like $3, $4, $5. And it's a fun little thing to wake up to see if it's a book that you want. They also do a ton of sales. It's amazing. So if you go to audibletrial.com/PixelLit and sign up there, you will get one free month and a free book to go with it to try it out, see if you like it. If you don't like it, cancel it. Just knock it out. But give it a shot because there's literally nothing to lose. You can listen to a lot of the books we've been listening to on this show. You can listen to Bioshock Rapture, which is coming up. You can listen to Far Cry Absolution. You can listen to Halo, The Fall of Reach. All of those are books that we have found through Audible. And on top of that, they have a ton of video game novelization books that are free on there, like a whole lot of them. And you and I have actually gone through it.
Yeah, we have.
Well, that makes that an easy choice as to what we're going to listen to at a certain point. That makes things real easy.
But yeah, I agree with everything you said. I love Audible. My problem is sometimes I'll let the credits build up a little bit, so I have all these credits, and I'm like, ooh, and then I go on a credit spree, and then I'll spend I'll end up like buying credits by the end of, because I'll just get on this binge of like, oh, I can get these 6, and then I'll find 7 that I want.
Yeah. And they're like, Audible is like Steam. They kind of sense your weakness at times.
Yeah.
In the best possible way. Like I said, I've been trying to listen to the Horus Heresy series, and I'll go through it in the same way you're talking. Like I'll go through in spurts.
Right.
Like I'll listen to like 4 of them in a row, and then I'll stop listening for like 4 months or something like that. But it's happened on multiple occasions that I have torn through 2 or 3 of my Horus Heresy books, and I don't have any left until my next credit comes in. And I go,
right,
well, that's okay. I've got other stuff I should read, and that's fine. Just wait until the next month. No big deal. And the next morning, I'll get an email from them being like, hey, we heard that you needed credits, motherfucker. You want 3 credits for the price of like 1? How about that? Come on. We know you gonna finish the book. The Emperor can't do it without you, Phil. And
you ran out of credits, huh?
Yeah. It's like, yes, I failed you. I'm aware. I'm sorry. I guess I'll get the damnation of Pythos. Thanks. It goes on
just like you just like head. It's like going to see a movie that you're embarrassed about. You're like head down up to the ticket counter. Exactly. Be like one please. One
please. Don't look at me. I'm begging you.
Don't look at me.
I'm begging you not to look at me. But yeah, so that was not going to be an ad, but we did have exciting news.
Exciting news. We have an Audible thing now. We're real content now because we're sponsored.
Yeah, we're sponsored. There's money involved, and that's what makes it real.
That's what makes it real.
So check out Audible Trial. Oh yeah, exactly. Art plus commerce. The truest form.
audibletrial.com/pixellit. That's audibletrial.com/pixellit. PIXELLIT 2 L's, as Andrew Ryan intended.
Yes. You go in there and you tell him Andrew Ryan sent you.
You tell him Andrew Ryan sent you. Which is that's a nod to the next book that's going to be coming up for you fine folk. Ooh, next week.
Shit for you. You didn't think we were gonna just do a personal Thanksgiving episode and forget all about the actual content?
Of course not.
We didn't do that.
So what do you before we wish people a happy Thanksgiving, are you playing anything right now?
I've been playing a bunch of stuff. I've been getting an itch lately, and it's kind of funny. My fiance's been dog sitting a lot lately. Her friend has been in and out of town, so she goes off and takes care of the dog for a few days here and there. And I just can't be trusted anymore. Like she goes and I'm like, well, I better open up a few bottles of wine to keep me company and play a video game until I pass out at 4 a.m. It doesn't matter that it's a Tuesday. Like you don't realize how quickly you fall into that domestic bliss kind of thing where you're like, okay, well, it's 9:30. We better go ahead and snuggle up and read a little bit before we go to sleep.
Read a little bit and get to bed.
It's just like, we're just getting fat and we're watching Christmas movies and reading books and then she goes away for a few nights in a row and I'm like, I'd probably better play 9 games.
I better load up on video games and pizza and wine.
Pretty much. I mean, that's not wrong. So yes, I've been playing. I finished up Inscription, which we've talked about.
We talked about.
I finished that one up. I played a weird little indie game called Lake, which I recently put up a review on. It's long story short, it's kind of It's like Gilmore Girls, the video game.
Hmm.
If that appeals to anyone who's listening, if you like Gilmore Girls and or video games, give Lake a try. You're basically
I like
this
Gilmore
woman.
Girls.
Yeah, I fucking love the Gilmore Girls. But you're basically this woman who is trying to get away from her busy city job for a little while. So she's spending 2 weeks in this tiny little town in Oregon that's centered around a lake, and she takes over her dad's postal work job, and you're basically going around this little town and dropping off packages and envelopes and getting to know the neighbors and stuff while you do that.
Right.
And it's really cute, and it's got several endings. I went with the lesbian off on an adventure like road hippies ending because I had no choice. It was required by the law.
It sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds fitting for you.
I did that. I just finished Dagon today.
Oh yeah, you were telling me about that did we talk about that in the Halloween episode?
I feel like we briefly brought it up. It's when we were digging through games when we lost the thread and we were just we
lost the thread and kind of just started going through Steam.
Yeah. And I played it today. It doesn't take long. It takes like half an hour, 40 minutes to play. It's not what I'd call a game. It's a narrative experience with neat trivia pieces about Lovecraft. It's like a narrative version of one of his stories. But the visuals are so beautiful. Basically, they're showing off how good they are at visuals and at creating a mood and an atmosphere.
Right.
It's so good that all I can think about is how much I want them to get teamed up with somebody who could help design puzzles for them.
Yeah.
I feel like if they got if the visual artists and the writers and that sort of thing behind Dagon could get matched up with like an old school Myst style puzzle maker or something like that, I feel like we could have like a masterpiece on our hands.
Oh, okay.
And Dagon is totally free. It's getting like overwhelmingly positive reviews and stuff like that on
so
Steam.
Somebody like say Jonathan Blow, if Jonathan Blow wasn't an asshole.
Exactly. Yeah. There are limits, but yes, you're but I played a little bit of the collection of Castlevania Advance games. It's a trilogy of games that came out for the Game Boy Advance, and they're all Castlevania. I didn't get very far into it because all it did was totally reinforce the fact that I am not good at Metroidvanias. I don't have the attention span for them.
Yeah, I mean, and I kind of I think I've picked up that vibe from you before.
Yeah,
there's a lot of backtracking and
it's tough.
Yeah,
it's tough, and they've gotten better at it with modern ones. You know, people like I really loved Ritual of the Night.
Ritual of the Night was so fun.
It was a great game, and it was designed so that it did have a little backtracking, but it was way more user-friendly in that sense. So I didn't my brain didn't melt at the possibility of having to go back 4 or 5 rooms and all that shit. And these games, I mean, you can see the craftsmanship. You can see with a lot of these games, it's like, oh, this is probably a really good game. It's a shame I'm never going to finish it. That's how that
I can imagine you would have some issues with Hollow Knight.
I tried everything about Hollow Knight, and I know I'm going to give it another try.
Because it's bugs.
It's bugs.
And you're the bug guy.
I'm the bug guy. And it's such a great aesthetic. And like everything about it is like, I need to play this. I feel like I'd really enjoy this. So I feel like I'm going to come back to that one eventually. And tomorrow speaking of which, tomorrow I think at some point I'm going to start Bug Tales.
Okay.
Which is this.
Not tomorrow Thanksgiving. But tomorrow real time, as of when we're recording this.
The past. It's basically a Super Mario RPG clone. But all the character, everyone who has played it has basically said this is a giant ripoff in almost every way of Super Mario RPG or the early Super Mario paper games.
Yeah.
I couldn't love it more. Like, that's been the consensus. Like, everyone's like, this is it's clear what they're trying to do.
Right.
And it's okay. Bug Fables, the everlasting sapling. It's very cute. It's very and again, it's very clearly meant to evoke those old school Mario RPG vibes. And I'm really looking forward to that one. So I think I'm gonna away some time with
just
that one.
down to the graphics. It's
yeah
100%. It's literally Paper Mario.
Yeah, exactly. It's just that there are bugs instead, and so there's a part. And I liked Paper Mario and all that shit. So there's a part of it that's like, I might like this better. This might be a better thing. So I'm gonna do that, and then after all that is done, because that will have gotten me, because I've been getting a lot of review copies lately. Something happened where I've just been more active online.
Keymailer has been
they've been very generous to me.
Yeah.
I've been getting a lot of free games, and so I want to make sure they get some coverage, and I talk about them and give them their fair shake, because I hate getting a complimentary game and just not covering it. It feels wrong.
Right.
Even if the best I can do is to like come out really quick and go, all right, here are my thoughts, that kind of thing. I have to do something. But after that's done, I can start whittling away ever so gently into the pile of Halloween games that you and I bought that night.
Oh, that's right. We did buy a lot of Halloween games that night.
And I think I'm going to start with what was the Vampire XCOM game you talked me into?
Oh God, yeah. I didn't even buy that. I just managed to talk you into it.
Oh God, what is it called? Other Side.
Other Side.
Which is like Vampire XCOM. So as soon as I have got like my free game shit out, I'm starting in on the Vampire XCOM game, because Jesus Christ.
All it needs is bugs, vampires and bugs, and
bugs, man. That's it. That's all I need in my life. I need vampires and bugs, and the occasional glass of wine. I'm happy. Yeah. What about you? What are you playing, Kevin?
Right now, I'm only playing, really only playing Returnal right now. I went back to Returnal, so I played Returnal at the beginning of the year when it first came out, because I had this shiny new PlayStation 5 and there was no exclusive games to play for it, really. I mean, there was the Demon's Souls remake, got it, beat it, Returnal came out, and I remember I didn't bounce off of it. I definitely didn't bounce off of it, because I put dozens of hours into Returnal, could not get past the second boss. So for those of you who don't know, Returnal is a roguelite. I'm going to call it a roguelite because it does give you progress. It's not like, so if it was a true roguelike, it would, you could have no permanent progress, basically. Right. A roguelite gives you some progress and gives you some like level ups and stuff like that. It's a roguelite, procedurally generated maps every time you load up, but it's like this massive AAA quality, and it's also a bullet hell shooter.
Wow.
It is, and it is gorgeous, and it is action-packed. The design is amazing, and it is hard as balls. It is so difficult, and there's people on the Returnal subreddit. I was just browsing there today, and somebody posted to be like, "Oh, I finally did it. After my 5th run, I beat the game." And I was like, "5th run? 5th run? I didn't even get to the first boss on the 5th run."
Oh, this game is gorgeous. Holy shit.
Yeah, it is beautiful. So hard though. So I dozens of hours sunk into it, put it down. Now, 6 months later or so, more than 6 months, I pick it back up, and I've got past the second boss, and like in just a few more tries, I was like, something I couldn't get through, months ago, I finally beat him. So I'm leaning into
that's what you need to do.
You need a little breather. So
dude, this little thing looks like it has some serious body horror shit going on.
Yeah, it does have some of that. Nothing happens so far, at least, to the main character, sort of.
Right.
Yeah.
This is
there's also some random horror elements in there as well. There is some PT-ish influenced
nice.
moments that are folded in there kind of nicely. So, and I'm surprised Returnal didn't get more buzz for Game of the Year. I know the Game Awards voting just came out.
Returnal I did not see that.
Is not listed anywhere. Possibly because of when it was released. It was, of all the games that were nominated, I think it was released earlier than any of them.
Okay.
So, kind of like a victim of its own. Sort of like you almost never see a movie that was released in January nominated for an Academy Award.
It's a lousy time to release something like that.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, Returnal it's probably on my list for a Game of the Year.
Okay. That's another thing we're gonna have later.
That's another thing that we're gonna have for you. For you fine folk, we're gonna have a little Game of the Year podcast towards the end of the year, where we kind of get down into it, talk about what we liked playing. Other than that, I'm playing Returnal, and I'm reading a book that you recommended to me called Nightbitch.
Oh, how do you like it so far?
It is an interesting.
That's a good way to put
it. It leaves me very tense when I read it, because it just reminds me of the early days of parenthood.
Sure. Yeah.
And I'm just suddenly back there, and like all the muscles in my neck and shoulder are just like sore and tired from being tensed up all the time.
Lack of sleep and all that good stuff.
There's this funny little story where so our daughter woke up in the middle of the night, and all I remember is April yelling at me to get up and get Camilla. And I wake up and I said, "Why are you yelling at me?" And she goes, "This is the third time I've woken you up." And I don't remember the first two times.
Oh no. Oh wow.
You reach a depth of exhaustion that you didn't know you have. Like, she woke me up 2 times and my brain wasn't even recording. Like, the record function was not working.
Wow. It's just from lack of sleep and that kind of thing in general.
Just from being tired and lack of sleep. Yeah. This was like in the first 3 months or so, I think, of having her home from the hospital. So
I remember my brother when his son was born, and he and my sister-in-law were FaceTiming us, and it was my first time seeing my nephew, and they were just smiling, these kind of painted on real smiles, but like just holding it together. And I said, "How you guys doing?" And my brother goes, "I haven't slept in 3 days." And I went, "Ha ha ha. Yeah, sure." And he goes, "No, seriously, dude, 3 days."
Oh,
I was like, "Oh no. My God." And my fiance wants to have one of those.
Yeah.
Like, she talked me into it.
Oh.
Like, I was like, you knew me.
I knew you back when
last year.
I knew you like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. And she wants to, and it's like, she's like, I don't know. It's just one of those things where you're like, finally you find the right person, you find the one, and you're like, you know what? This does seem like a good idea. It wasn't that I was so, horrified by the notion of having kids, even though I was kind of good with not having them. It was just like, oh no, I just maybe had a really bad run of partners for a long time there that God,
you just couldn't even like it. Your brain prevented you from even imagining it as as like a safety measure.
Right, exactly. And then you meet the right person where you're like, well, we're a really good team, and like we've got something that could actually work for this here. And it's like, son of a bitch. Like, okay, we'll do this, I guess. And Yeah, and I think about that, and I've been reading a lot of books. Coincidentally, I've been reading a lot of horror, a lot of thrillers, because I'm doing a lot of horror writing, and so that's just the best thing to do. And Nightbitch is not horror per se,
Yeah,
but
it's scary though.
It's scary, and it's literally, for those of you guys who haven't read it or heard of this book, it's literally a book about a woman who's had a child. She lives with her husband who works away from home all the time, and she starts to lose it. She starts to think that she's turning into a dog. And it's basically about, the idea of having a kid and how your body doesn't feel like it belongs to you anymore. And you're becoming something different. You're not who you were anymore. You're mommy now, and mommy might just happen to be a dog.
Right.
It's fascinating. So I read it, and I told my fiance, I said, you're gonna have to read this at some point. And then after we have a kid, I think I'll read it again and see how
I think the good perspective on it is it's a cautionary tale. I haven't finished it yet, but from the first, quarter of it or so, it's basically a cautionary tale of what happens when parenting, when somebody is left alone to have to raise a child. And you know what? Single parents, y'all are awesome. I mean, I definitely could not do what you do with the strength and grace at which you do it. But at the same time, single parenting is definitely not for everybody, all walks of life. And more we've found out through anthropological studies and evolutionary studies, we were never meant to single parent. It was, It takes a village to raise a child. That's 100%. Your kid is supposed to have a lot of adults in their life, and have a lot of people that are kind of guiding them through. It's not just supposed to be all in one person. And I think Nightbitch is a really good cautionary tale of when one person has basically the weight of the world, which is a human life, thrust upon their shoulders, and a partner who doesn't care.
Yeah. And here's the worst part about it. He's not a bad guy.
No.
And she keeps saying that. And it's like, and you see it too. And you're like, he's not a bad guy, but you still want to strangle him.
Oh, God.
So it's like this thing where you think, well, I'm not a bad guy. I could still become strangleable. But yeah, I totally agree, because it's about finding that community.
Yeah.
Because as little as 3 or 4 generations ago, not even that much, like 2-3 generations ago, your grandparents and your great grandparents, when your parents and your grandparents were born, they weren't raising you by themselves. They lived in the same town with their aunts and their mothers and their sisters and brothers
and cousins and
everyone was together. And so you had like, I have to go do this one thing. Well, that's fine. The kids are all playing over here with my kids, so go do the thing.
Right.
And then when I have to go do something, you're going to be, it's about the loss of that community.
Right.
Which we absolutely have lost in favor of making money.
The villain, as always, folks, is capitalism.
Capitalism, baby.
Now,
but
this Black Friday,
we'd like to announce our Black Friday deal.
Our Black Friday sale on all PixelLit merch.
Black Friday, it's buy one, get one free Kevin. Cyber Monday, buy one, get one free Phil.
So if you want 2 Kevins, 2 Phils,
we'll help you raise your kids.
Yeah.
That's what you want, right?
That's what you're looking for.
A couple of men who are pushing
40
heavily towards middle age.
Yeah.
One of whom already has a kid of his own.
Yeah.
That's what you want, isn't it? You want a man who's almost 40 and has no children to help you take care of your children. Right?
Right. No, I think that's what everybody wants. That's the dream.
That goes without saying, really.
That goes without saying.
Yeah.
So I think that
covers it.
That covers it. We've hit 50-minute of our 30-minute Thanksgiving special.
That's always, that sounds like us. Yeah.
So honestly, though, from Phil and I, we really hope you have a good day on Thanksgiving. If you celebrate, if you don't, happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday.
I hope it's a wonderful Thursday. I hope it's the best Thursday you've ever had, if I'm being honest. And if Thanksgiving brings up painful memories for you, if you have family issues, I hope you find something tomorrow that gives you solace, and know that we and our community are here for you.
Absolutely.
So I hope it's a great day, regardless of how you're feeling.
And no matter what, whether you celebrate, whether you don't, you will always have MST3K Turkey Day Marathon Day.
You will.
So turn on, the internet machine and allow some Midwestern chuckle fucks to make you laugh.
That's the best way to do it.
That's a good way to go about it.
That's a good way to go about it.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Happy holidays, everyone.